things between Lindy and Miguel have progressed, even in the bedroom.
So they did the do, huh?
Apparently so.
Mm.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 15, episode number 6.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. So they open with the couples and they grouped off the men and the women. The women meeting on the beach and they have a small picnic prepared, and the men taking shots of tequila. And Lindy mentions that she and Miguel had sex, that he made her feel wonderful, she felt so comfortable, and that she was glad that she did it because, now she feels closer to him, so to speak.
Meantime, on the fellas' side, Miguel dropped that bug in the fellas' ear about, hey, look, the marriage has been consummated, and how natural it felt to him, and how special it was to him, and that it was
He,
a wonderful.
he said he had a spiritual experience.
Spiritual experience. That's exactly right.
Well,
and
good for him.
Exactly what it should have been.
Because Lindy was raised in that strict manner, I'm glad she doesn't feel any judgment surrounding her having sex with Miguel, although they truly don't yet know each other or have resolved certain things that are important between them. And hopefully they'll all both land in the same time and in the same way.
Lindy did mention that she wants to fall in love with Miguel,
Yes.
and that maybe this is a step in that direction,
Okay, but a lot of women have sex with men and they don't fall in love with them. So
I said maybe, yeah, absolutely. I understand that that can be the case.
So we see Lindy in a group setting with Stasia and Morgan. And one of the issues was finances, and Lindy said that she too had student loans because Morgan had student loans, and she advised Morgan that she gotta feel comfortable and she shouldn't allow him to feel less than because she got some loans.
Yeah, that's kind of like a tough scenario. I mean,
the
reality of it is that if you went to medical school for any kind of medical profession, chances are good that you're going to have some kind of bills as
yeah,
related
to just going to college now is on. You could buy a house, so it's no easy feat. And then that interest rate on that student loan is just going up and up and up. So it could be it could just be like a hamster on a wheel trying to keep up.
Nowhere fast.
Nowhere fast. So, you could tell that both women, both Lindy and Morgan, are stressing out because they have these student loans to deal with.
Yeah, it seemed like Morgan, maybe a little less so. She seemed a little reassured that hey, look, this was not going to be any of Ben's issue. She would handle it. She would take care of it.
Yeah.
In comparison
because
to Lindy.
Lindy believes that the student loan is what the student loan is,
right?
And she's not working full time. In fact, she told him so.
Right. She told Miguel that,
and she doesn't want any judgment behind her deciding not to work full time.
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily Miguel received that.
No, he did not.
Favorably, shall we say?
No,
but at the same time, I think he did acknowledge it and he understood what she was saying.
They spent the day in the water, and they were having a whole lot of fun, setting themselves kayaking. Right. She wants to know how he feels because so far she's been having sex with him, and he hasn't yet articulated how he felt.
I'm trying to understand from his point of view that because of the way the process was set up, maybe
that's the deadline.
Right. That 8-week window is kind of important to him to see where he's at at the end of that to kind of gauge where he thinks they should go.
Right. Also, she is saying that you're not giving me any place that I can breathe here. You say you got to be attracted to me intellectually, but she doesn't quite know how to do that, and she doesn't quite know how to be herself.
Right,
and then he said, "No, that's not what I want. I want you to be yourself."
right, because she made sometime in the episode a comment that she liked the fact that they were kind of goofy together. And then it was kind of like this lighthearted moment, but at the same time, that I think that falls in line with who she is and being herself.
Right.
Yeah, and like she feels comfortable enough to do that part of it, and she acknowledges that. I would think that I would like to see a little bit more of that from Miguel's point of view.
Lindy is not as carefree now because she has sex with Miguel.
Right, so it's a different kind of relationship.
It's a different kind of relationship
right.
now.
The circumstances under which they are married or came to be married have been unusual, have happened in reverse, as far as I'm concerned, and all, and it kind of makes it weird because as they progress, like you said, they do have the option of getting out of it,
walking away.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't legitimize in my mind to any degree the fact that they're married.
And additionally, Lindy has to consider that, Miguel may not be where I want him to be, and I may have to hold on, or I may have to start protecting myself in case he decides to not sign up fully with this whole thing.
Yeah, but the issue with that is that in a marriage, as you well know, both parties have to understand that their vulnerability, expressed to the other one, is part of the process that they're going through to get stronger and move together.
That may be part of the marriage situation. That's
Which
why
is what they are.
Thing is, but it's not in this case. Miguel has an 8-week window. So how vulnerable do you think he's going to be? How vulnerable is that? This whole situation doesn't lead to people being vulnerable and open with each other simply because they can get, destroyed doing that.
I think it depends on. I understand that is part. That is something that can happen, but I also think that it is something that you have to at least begin to experience and to even give yourself an opportunity to continue on.
The couples meet for their final dinner, and Miguel is telling the group.
They're on the beach, aren't they?
They're still on the beach.
Yeah.
Miguel is telling the group about his 8-week window, and that he's marrying a stranger. He doesn't know any blankety blank about that person.
Yeah,
so that's
uncertain.
why he has an 8-week window.
And he's uncertain.
And he is uncertain, and it seems like he's more locked into that point of view because he clearly expressed that point of view in a strong way
to the group. But he did say I think at some point in time prior to that he wanted to be married. He also is looking forward to the time spending more time with Lindy and getting to know Lindy more.
He has told you from the gate that he leaves relationships once he thinks there's a problem. And he has also articulated that his mother left him as a child. She abandoned him. So that's why it seems to me he abandons people before they can do it to him.
I think that Miguel wants to be married. I think he wants to be in a position where he actually can be vulnerable and not have any fears or concerns with Lindy about things. He wants to get to know her, and he is unsure, uncertain. He seemed, in a sense, to be backtracking in the group based on what he was said.
What he was talking to her.
Right, but
when he wanted the drawers, he was saying something else. He was not as firm as he is in that group setting.
Play on one side of the fence or the other. I think he's right now he's trying to be on both sides of that fence.
And that's my problem.
He is in a place where I think he really wants to do this, but I think he's got to work out some things that are going on, some issues relating to the baggage that he's brought to the relationship, and not let them interfere with what he's into now.
Right. What does he have that has not yet been revealed.
Well, I'm sure part of it, at least one issue, I'm sure is that I don't know how she will handle it is his involvement with the Dungeon and Dragons scene. I'm not supposed to always agree, you know that, right?
I absolutely do know that. That's why I do it so often.
And I'm sure they don't agree with us either about on many a topic at many a time, but it's okay.
But I just hope she's mindful that the dude could put it on her and she loses.
You make it sound like he's got like sinister motives in this.
The woman doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that because she doesn't have a whole lot of experience, then his motives as it relates to what he's trying to do within the course of this this marital relationship is sinister. Even though they're dating in reverse.
I just feel like the whole piece she told us about him wanting to be attracted to intellectually, and she's saying that she wants him to like her for herself, and the conversation they're having in a group setting, and she's morphing and saying what he wants to hear. I think that could be a problem.
It could be. I can see how it could be, but I don't necessarily see that as a big issue or not even a moderate or immediate issue right now. I think it's maybe small.
We just trying to avoid waiting to exhale part 2.
Oh wow!
Lord
like
have
that,
mercy.
huh? Like that, huh?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
All right, we out. Bye bye.
Deuces.